Hello everybody, welcome back to another video here on my YouTube. So I apologize, I haven't really been doing a lot of videos. I know I do that a lot, it's just something unfortunately that happens, but people have to work, to make money. But there are people, that do not work and they make money. I mean, some are like disabled, but, some, cannot work. So, you know what I mean. But anyway, this video is going to be my 2025 baseball season predictions, or picks, either way if you want to call it that and stuff. I mean, I haven't really done a video like this sort of thing in a while. I've been doing some game stuff, trying to like do some of that, for you all, for your entertainment and stuff. So I decided to do this, because you know how much I love baseball. And over the weekend, I managed to meet two former baseball players that played for the Baltimore Orioles. I have pictures of them, and I'm just going to show it to you on my phone. Let me get closer to the webcam. That is a picture of me and Rick Dempsey, who used to play for the Baltimore Orioles, and he also did play for the Los Angeles Dodgers as well. And here's another picture. This isn't me in this picture. That is my mother and Larry Sheets, who was another former baseball player for the Orioles. Yeah, and there's one of me and him as well, too. Yep. And they both are very nice people. I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't a thing that was free or anything like that, but it was worth it. It really was. I mean, not only that, we also had some other problems, too. Well, unfortunately, about last week or so, or a little bit over, or close to 2 weeks ago, well, actually a little bit over a week ago, we had to give back a dog that we adopted. Now, unfortunately, we lost our dog Prince back in July of 2024, and we decided to get another dog. And, well, my sister was the one that really wanted the dog, but I really personally think we shouldn't have got another dog. I just think it was a little bit too tough. But we decided to adopt a dog. Her name was Elska, Elska, but they said at the place to adopt a dog, you can call the dog like whatever you wanted, but my mom right away fell in love with the dog, and so did my sister, and my stepdad, liked her too. I thought she was pretty cute, but the problem with her was she was a little bit too big. She was a mix of a Mastiff dog and a Great Dane, and she was only like a year and a half, but the problem was with her that she was very aggressive. I'm not going to get into detail of what happened and stuff, but long story short, we had to return the dog to the adoption place. So there may be a time we may get another dog, but right now, I think it's best that we do not, because we have 3 turtles, and I think that's good enough right there. But anyway, let's get into all this stuff. And I also did spend some time with my mom and my aunt on the weekend too. I unfortunately called out at work on Saturday, but I did work on Sunday. This video is being filmed on March 24th, 2025, on Monday. So anyway, let's get right into this. So we're going to start in the American League East. So, of course, the American League East, with your 5 teams that you have, well, you know all of them. I mean, I'm not going to go in order, because you're probably going to think that's my order of who I'm going to go with. But anyway, we're going to start with first place. Now, I know this is going to sound like a thing and stuff, but I'm only doing this just because I think it's a good prediction, and I really think I should charge my phone as well, too, because I'm low on battery. But I think I may be able to get this in without going down to 0. I'm down to 9%, but I should be okay. But anyway, for first place, I'm going with the Baltimore Orioles. I know a lot of people are not probably going to be happy with that, but I know there's other people that are picking different teams to finish first place too, but I'm going with the Orioles. Now, unfortunately, the Orioles have lost a couple players that are going to be starting the season on the injured list. One of them is shortstop Gunnar Henderson. Now, Gunnar, of course, had a really good season last year. He slugged over 30 home runs. He slugged 37, I think, to be exact. I have to get a lot of the players up on here. He had 37 homers and 92 RBIs, which is the highest by an Orioles shortstop ever. The highest home runs was Cal Ripken in 1991, and Gunnar broke that by 3 more. The highest RBIs was 150 by Miguel Tejada in 2004. Yeah, Cal, I think, had the record in 1991 when he had 130 or something, or 116. I don't know how many RBIs he had, but for the most RBIs by an Oriole, it's definitely Tejada with 34, and the most home runs hit by an Oriole is Chris Davis, I think, with it's either 53 or 54, something like that. I think it's 53, but don't care about that one. Sorry about that. But the pitching, of course, is a problem for the Orioles. I mean, that has been a thing for many, many years. I mean, the pitchers, unfortunately, can't stay healthy a lot of times. I mean, it happens with other teams, too. So the Orioles are going to have Grayson Rodriguez start the season on the injured list, and he may not be back until the month of May. But the Orioles did sign free agent pitcher Kyle Gibson, who pitched for the Orioles in 2023. Now, he's a very good pitcher. He's a veteran. He won, I think, 15 games for the Orioles that year, something like that. And he's not really going to start the season, right away for them. He's probably going to, get some time, basically in the minors, as it says on here. He was 8-8 last year with the Cardinals with a 4.24 ERA and struck out 151, which I think was more than the Orioles in 2023. I can't find his strikeouts on here. It's somewhere. That's the hits. Had 157 with the Orioles that year, and he had 151. Okay, the highest he had was 179 in 2018, but we're not going over strikeouts. But he will start in the minors pretty much. He probably won't be ready until probably mid-April or somewhere around that time. He'll probably get maybe 20 starts in until Grayson Rodriguez comes back and Kyle Bradish comes back from injury too, who won't be back until probably July or maybe even August. Unfortunately, that's a shame, because he's a very good pitcher. But I really blame the pitch clock, every time that stupid thing comes up. It's been happening, I think, since 2023 or somewhere, something like that. And unfortunately, I think it really needs to go. I know a lot of people are going to disagree and say that's not the reason, but there's been a lot of pitching injuries since it's been happening, and I really think that's the reason. So, so once again, Felix Bautista, who will be returning to the Orioles for the first time since 2023 after having Tommy John surgery and missed all of 2024, he has lost a little bit of velocity on his fastball. Well, the reason is, if you throw 100 to 102 miles per hour, you most likely will get surgery. Now, that happens a lot to pitchers. The opening day starter for the Orioles is going to be the right-hander Zach Eflin. It probably was going to be Grayson Rodriguez, but because of his injury, it's now going to be Eflin. And then they also got Dean Kramer, who probably won't be the number 2 starter, but he will be in there. Charlie Morton, who is a young 41-year-old pitcher on the Orioles. And Kyle Gibson is 37. And then they signed that Japanese pitcher Tomoyuki Sagano. I don't think it's pronounced that, but it looks close enough to me. And he will probably be making number 3 start, maybe, something like that. And Cade Povich will also make a start. He will start the opening day home opener for the Orioles on Monday against the Red Sox, which is great. And Albert Suarez will be in the bullpen. Of course, Albert Suarez, he pretty much came out of nowhere. But he did pretty well last year. But he will be in the bullpen. And other people like Trevor Rogers, who will not make the roster because he's injured. I really think the Orioles should have gotten rid of him. Then Chase McDermott, who will also start the season on the injured list, along with Andrew Kittredge, a relief pitcher who may not be back until late June or July, unfortunately, which is really a shame. We signed him to a 1-year deal, something like that. Then we got Sir Anthony Dominguez, and pretty much that's about it. We also got Keegan Aiken and Brian Baker, just people to go over. And for the catchers, Adley Rutschman will return to the catcher spot, along with new Oriole Gary Sanchez, who used to play for the New York Yankees, who was that person, hit a lot of home runs in 2017 and 2019, something like that. I really don't like the guy. The Orioles should have brought back James McCann, and they did not. He signed a minor league deal with Atlanta, and I wish him the best of luck. You remember when he took that ball to the face and he stayed in the game. That's pretty badass right there. Maybe they might acquire him in a trade, trade him for trade James McCann for Gary Sanchez. It could happen. And the rest of the people, Jackson Holliday will probably start shortstop because of the injury to Gunnar Henderson. We also got Jorge Mateo, who might start the season for the Orioles if he's okay to go. He has played spring training, he's done pretty well. And same with Felix Bautista. But we also got Jordan Westberg at third base and Ramon Urias. I think they need to let him go. And that's pretty much it. And the outfield, Colton Cowser, Cedric Mullins, and Heston Kjerstad, and new guy Tyler O'Neill that the Orioles signed to a 1-year, or actually a 3-year deal to replace Anthony Santander. And I hope Tyler O'Neill does a lot better than Santander, because Santander pretty much was asking for too much money, and I certainly hope this will be a better deal than having Santander. I certainly hope that O'Neill does really good. And that's pretty much it. And I'm predicting for the Orioles to get at least 90 wins. I don't say like how many losses or anything like that. I just think pretty much, they get 90 wins. For second place, I'm actually going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I think the Red Sox, are definitely going to improve than last year because of, number one, the people that they acquired. As it looks for them, for the depth chart, I'm just going to look at on here, like who starts at number one and stuff. They acquired Garrett Crochet from not the Boston Red Sox, the White Sox. I was hoping the Orioles would get him, because he's a young left-hander. But he joins a rotation of Tanner Houck, Walker Buehler, who they acquired or signed from the from the Los Angeles Dodgers, to only a 1-year contract, which seems a little bit weird, though. But, I don't know about that. And he's going to wear number 0 for the Red Sox. He didn't really have a good 2024, but we shall see, what he shall do. You never know. He might do really well, or he could do really bad. And other people as well, Brian Bello, I don't know how it's pronounced that, and Lucas Giolito, possibly getting in there as well. But the rest of them, like Cutter Crawford, Richard Fitz, and Cooper Criswell, we'll just have to figure out what they're going to do. And the bullpen, the closing role will probably be shared by 2 people, which are new Red Sox, Aroldis Chapman and Liam Hendricks. 2 people, that possibly, could be doing that. Like Chapman could do it, if a lefty comes up to bat, and Liam Hendricks, would probably just do the same thing too. Against righties. Or lefties, pretty much, yeah. And the rest of them, Connor Wong, pretty much at catcher, and Carlos Navarez. At first base, Tristan Casas. Second base will be handled by Christian Campbell. Third base, the new guy, Alex Bregman. Rafael Devers will probably be getting some time at probably first base and designated hitter. And shortstop will be handled by Trevor Story. And hopefully Trevor Story, stays healthy. I do like that guy. He's a really good player, and I really hope that he does, pretty much do a very good job. And then you got Jarren Duran. Masataka Yoshida will start the season on the injured list. And Cedane Rafaela, I guess it's pronounced that. And Willer Abreu as well. And Rob Refsnyder probably made the roster too. But pretty much Red Sox, I think, get about 86 wins. And now for third place, I'm going to go with the New York Yankees. Now, the Yankees are pretty much lost a good amount of players, including their ace pitcher, Garrett Cole, who has pretty much decided to have Tommy John surgery, and he's going to miss the entire 2025 season. That pretty much is a big blow to them. Now, it may not be a problem for the Yankees because they do have pitchers. They have people like Carlos Rodon and Max Fried. I honestly thought Max Fried was going to get the opening day start instead of Rodon. Then they got Marcus Stroman, which they weren't sure what they were going to do with him. But they also got Will Warren and Carlos Carrasco. And Luis Gil will also start the season on the injured list. So that's probably going to hurt them a little bit, because if they had Garrett Cole and Luis Gil, it probably would look a little bit more nasty in the rotation to me. The closing role will be handled by new guy Devin Williams, who the Yankees got from the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, I don't think he's going to be no Mariano Rivera or Aroldis Chapman, even though he's a lefty. But I still think, he'll have a pretty good season, joining a bullpen of Luke Weaver and Mark Leiter Jr. and a few others. And for the catcher role, Austin Wells will be handling that. Then we also got new Yankee Paul Goldschmidt over at first base, and we have another new Yankee, Cody Bellinger, who was signed to the Yankees to a contract after playing with the Chicago Cubs and won the MVP over with the Dodgers. So yeah, that should be pretty interesting. And then at second base will be Jazz Chisholm after Gleyber Torres filed free agency and went to the Detroit Tigers. And Oswaldo Cabrera at third and Anthony Volpe at short. Jason Dominguez over in the outfield, along with Cody Bellinger, but probably will get some playing time in center field or DH, and Aaron Judge will be returning to right field. But however, they will not have Giancarlo Stanton, or as he used to be called, Mike Stanton. Stanton will be starting the season on the injured list. So yeah, that will be pretty interesting. And also thoughts and prayers to former Yankee Brett Gardner of some very sad news that he shared recently. You'll have to look it up and see. I'm not going to get the detail and be disrespectful, but thoughts and prayers to his entire family. I say the Yankees get about 84 wins. For fourth place, I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Blue Jays have acquired some people as well, too, including Anthony Santander, as I mentioned, and they do play the Orioles on opening day in Toronto, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't there. I wish it was home, but the rotation will consist of former Oriole Kevin Gausman and Jose Barrios, but Barrios will be getting the opening day start. I think Gausman really deserves it more a little bit than him, but Barrios had a pretty good season last year. He did really well. And also Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer. I don't know why Max Scherzer has to pitch again. He's got Hall of Fame numbers, and I think really he should have retired. And also Bowden Francis, who will be there as well, too. Alek Manoah will start the season on the 60-day injured list. Then new Toronto Blue Jay Jeff Hoffman will also join the bullpen and be the closer after he was almost a Baltimore Oriole, but instead he goes to Toronto. I really don't know why. I think because of something that must have happened. I forget. And pretty much that's it. Alejandro Kirk will again handle the catcher spot along with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And they still got George Springer, and they've got a few other people like Bo Bichette, who could probably turn around this year along with Vlad Guerrero Jr. I know I'm going over the phone a little bit, and stuff, but I'm just going to leave it as that. I'm not going to go through the whole roster and all that stuff. But they have a lot of young players on there too. They also got former Guardian Miles Straw, and they've got a few others. But I still don't think it's going to be enough for them to have, a winning season. I think they finished the season, under 500, and I think they get about maybe 73 wins or somewhere around there. And I still think they finished under 500 or somewhere around the 70 area, somewhere around there once again, or maybe even close to 70. And for last place, that would be, of course, the Tampa Bay Rays. But it's sad, for Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay has lost their stadium, the Tropicana Field, unfortunately due to a hurricane. So they're going to have to play at George Steinbrenner Field, which is a minor league stadium of the New York Yankees. And I just saw pictures of it, and they have, stuff on there, that has the Tampa Bay Rays, but they have a huge sign that has the New York Yankees logo. And I'm like, well, that's great, that's going to be very confusing. But unfortunately for the Rays, they haven't really done much in the offseason, and it's just pretty much a team I think that this is not really capable of going like into either first, second, or third. Sorry, for them, but they pretty much, I think will get a winning season, one day. But right now, it's a little bit tough because Shane McClanahan, who was supposed to be the opening day starter, I think is going to start on the injured list. But they still do have some good players. They've got Brandon Lau and Josh Lau is also on the team, and Yandy Diaz. I mean, they're pretty good players, but some of these players, could get traded as well, too, because, like I said, I don't think Tampa Bay really has what it takes, again, to finish first place or second or third, again. So, sorry to everybody in Tampa Bay. I love the state of Florida. I really do. But I hope, they do really well this season. I don't want them, I don't think they really have a winning season again. I say they win about maybe 62 games, and that would probably be 100 losses, yeah, 62 and 100. And they'll probably get the first round draft pick for the next year of the MLB draft. Okay, so excuse me. Now we're going to move on to the American League Central this time, and now we're going to go to there. And we're going to predict what team shall finish first, second, third, fourth, and fifth yet again. So I'm going to look this over because we got the teams in here. This is a little bit tough. I have to look this over a little bit and think about it as well. I'm not going to try and, go on and on and on like I did with the American League East, but I'm going to try. So, how am I going to do this? I don't think they do. No, they're not Central. Well, let's try this. I mean, I think this would be pretty interesting, but I usually go with this team, for first place. But instead, I'm going to change it up a little bit. For first place, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals. Now, I know that seems like a surprise a little bit, but it's either that or the other team. But Kansas City has actually put together a pretty good squad, including Bobby Witt Jr. I mean, the guy is really awesome. He played in the postseason, and Giancarlo Stanton supposedly hugged him or something in the ALDS or something for his effort or something, even though they swept the Orioles in the wild card. But still, I mean, we will eventually win another playoff game, whether if it's wild card or division, anything like that. I'm pretty sure that we will, because I know a lot of Oriole fans are getting pretty disappointed about that. But again, Cole Reagans, who will probably be the ace. I thought it was going to be Seth Lugo, but they also got Michael Waka, and Chris Bubbick and Michael Lorenzen. That's a pretty good rotation. I think personally that will probably do pretty well for them. I think Lucas Erceg should be the closer for them. I think he's pretty good. And they also got Hunter Harvey, a former Baltimore Oriole. And, of course, they have Salvador Perez, a really great catcher. I mean, the guy pretty much has put up some really good numbers. He has 273 career home runs, but I don't know if it'd be Hall of Fame worthy, though, and he has a 267 career average. But if he plays, a couple more years and gets 300 home runs, I mean, he probably could. He really could. And they also got, of course, Bobby Witt Jr. mentioned him, and MJ Melendez, Hunter Renfroe, and Vinny Pasquantino. Yeah, just some names to mention. But again, I know it probably seems like a question mark to you people, but again, I'm going to go with Kansas City for first place, and I say about 86 wins. Now, for second place, and this is usually the team I go for first place, and that is the Cleveland Guardians. Now, the Guardians, they've got a pretty good squad as well, too, but they still don't have their pitcher, and I believe that is Shane Bieber, who won the 2020 shortened season Cy Young Award or something like that. Even though I don't really care about that season, but they have Tanner Bibby, and he's, a pretty good pitcher. And they got others as well, too, like Tristan McKenzie and Luis Ortiz. They still have their closer, Emmanuel Clase, who's done really, really well. And I expect him, to probably do pretty well, too. Carlos Santana, who will be returning to the team for the first time in a while. He's a switch-hitting person. I think he's hit over 300 career home runs or something. I thought he did. This could load up. I'm still at Well, I'm at 8% on my phone, but I'm trying to get Santana up on here so I can get his stats. It's not letting me. Yeah, he does have 324 career homers. The problem is he has a 242 career average. So, yeah. They also got Jose Ramirez. He signed a big contract with them, and he's a very good player. Great switch hitter and good speed, and he can hit a lot, too. I'm not really a huge fan of the guy that much. He has crushed the Orioles many times in the season games, and he also had 118 RBIs. But, yeah, he's a very good player. Just not a huge fan of the guy. Then you got Steven Kwan in the outfield along with Lane Thomas, one of the heroes from the postseason game against, I think it was the ALCS, I think it was, yeah. Pretty sure it was. And you also got Johanski Noel, or Big Christmas, as the people call him, who's like the right fielder for them, who could make a pretty big impact. I think he could at least hit about 30, 35 home runs. Would be really, really awesome. And Kyle Manzardo, one of the young players on the roster too. So, yeah. And I say for Cleveland to get about, 84 wins, 85, like somewhere close to Kansas City. And I think Kansas City just still beats them out by at least a couple of games or so. Yeah. For third place, that would have to be the Minnesota Twins. And the Minnesota Twins, they pretty much have been doing all right. There's not really a whole lot to say about them, though. I mean, they still have players like Byron Buxton on the roster, and they've got a few others. But they have Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan in the rotation, Johan Duran, their closer, and Griffin Jacks. They'll probably get some time, with the closing role. They'll probably take turns maybe. They did get Ty France, to be for first base, along with Jose Miranda. Willie Castro also in there too, and Carlos Correa, one of them as well in the infield. And, of course, Byron Buxton. And that's pretty much about it, because the others, I don't really know a whole lot about, but, yeah. I'd say they still get about maybe 76 wins. For fourth place, who's the other team in the Central? I know you're all telling me. Okay. That would be the Detroit Tigers. Now, I was going to go with them, at third place and the other way around. But they did just recently sign Manuel Margot. They do have a rotation that consists of the return of Jack Flaherty, who was with the Detroit Tigers last year, and he went to the Los Angeles Dodgers. He was almost going to return to the Orioles, it looked like, but instead he signed with them, and I'm actually pretty glad that he did. I really didn't want him back, but they do have the Cy Young Award winner, Tarek Skubal, but I still think, there could be, some players on here on the verge of being traded and stuff. I mean, you never know. But Jason Foley, who will probably handle the closing roles, and other people like, of course, Gleyber Torres, who I mentioned earlier, was signed as to another team. And Javier Baez, who hasn't really put together a good season ever since 2021 maybe, or 2019, one of them. But it's been tough for him. It really has. Riley Green you also got, and you got Kerry Carpenter, Spencer Torkelson, good amount of good names on there. But I think they'll be in battle, for third place. They could get a wild card spot, they really could. But I say about 75 wins that they get. I think I said 76 for Minnesota. Yes, I did. And the last place team would, of course, have to be the Chicago White Sox. With new manager Will Venable, it's still going to be pretty tough for them. I still expect some of the players on this roster to be traded, and one of them would probably have to be Luis Robert Jr., or Luis Robert, anyway, like that. I mean, none of these people in the rotation I really know. I mean, the only one that I see on here is Martin Perez and Mike Clevenger. That's the only ones I know. Some of these names, I've seen or heard, like Sean Burke, Davis Martin. I have no idea who that is. But yeah, it's tough, unfortunately. I mean, it really is. They have lost players from last year that got traded and a few others. I mean, that's the thing, when you're on a struggling roster like that and they're going to trade away them players to go to a winning team. Yeah. But once again, I do expect Luis Robert to be traded. I mean, unless he's stuck in a contract for about 2 or 3 years. I don't really know his contract. And Andrew Benintendi is another option as well, too. I mean, but I don't see Baltimore acquiring him or the Yankees. I mean, maybe if they get an injury, but that's about it. And Austin Slater, a former Oriole from last year, joins them. Best of luck to you. And Eloy Jimenez, who was with them too, and he came to Baltimore. I think he signed a minor league deal with Tampa Bay. But I say for the White Sox, I'd say about 60 wins, something like that. And and that means they would lose 102 or something like that. Maybe 59 wins, something like that. All right, now to the American League West. So we'll start with that. For the American League West, I'm going to say that I'm going to choose. So we either got Texas, Seattle, and we've got Houston, Los Angeles, and I think there's another team I keep forgetting a lot. Yes, the Athletics. Let's see. Okay, for first place, I gotta think this over again because just gotta take a chance on this or just think this over. For first place, I'm gonna go with the Seattle Mariners. Now, of course, the Mariners have still not been to the World Series, which is really crazy to this day. They've been around since like the late 60s or 70s, something like that, and they still yet to go to a World Series. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. never did, but yeah. They've got, pretty good people. They got Luis Castillo and Logan Gilbert and Bryce Miller. They're all really good pitchers. George Kirby is another one, too. But he's listed way on the bottom. I don't know why. I mean, I guess he's in potential for the number 5 spot with Emerson Hancock. And you got Andres Munoz for a closer. And the rest of the people, too, like Cal Raleigh, pretty good catcher. And Jorge Polanco, a switch-hitting third baseman. I think he can play shortstop, too. I thought he did. And J.P. Crawford and Randy Arozarena. And, of course, Julio Rodriguez. A lot of good names there. I think, they put together a good season. I'd say they win about, I'd say 85 that they win. For second place, I'm going to go with I'm going to say the Texas Rangers. Now, the Rangers, supposedly, I think they will have Jacob deGrom back in the rotation because I think he's been doing pretty well. He will most likely be the number 2 starter. Nathan Eovaldi will get the opening day start. Now, it's got Tyler Mahle and Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter and Mark Leiter Jr., I believe, are related to Al Leiter, a former pitcher. Yep, and the rest of them on here, like Jonah Himes, got him on there, and Jake Berger, Jock Peterson, Marcus Semien, Josh Young, and you got Corey Seager, too. A lot of good names on the roster, too, and Adolis Garcia, many others. And I think they'll be in contention, pretty much with the Mariners. I'd say that the Rangers win at least about 84 games. For third place, now this one, again, is going to be a little bit tough. God. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Angels. I know that seems like a question mark, yet again, because the Los Angeles Angels, they've been struggling, Mike Trout is going to be moved to right field. He's going to be playing that position instead of center field, which I think is a little bit crazy. But actually, you never know. It could work out because there have been players, that move from positions, and they've done pretty well. But they got Yusei Kikuchi, who will be their ace, along with Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks, and a few others too. Kenley Jansen, who will be their closer, who's, of course, a really good closer. You also got Ben Joyce, who fires it in there at like 100 miles an hour. You got Logan O'Hoppe. You got Luis Rengifo. Yoan Moncada, who will probably be taking the third baseman role over Anthony Rendon. And hopefully the Angels, get rid of that guy because he's been pretty much a disgrace to baseball, which is crazy. And Zach Neto over at short, along. Then you got Taylor Ward in the outfield and Joe Adell, who will be most likely taking the center field role over Mike Trout. And Jorge Soler. I mean, a lot of pretty good names on the roster. I mean, definitely for sure. I say the Angels win about, 80 games. I know, again, it seems, a little bit impossible, about that thing, but I'm just going with that. For fourth place, I'm going to go with the Athletics. It's not Oakland Athletics anymore, unfortunately, because of the fact that they still have not figured out where they're going to play. Some people are saying 2026 or 2027 they're going to be in Las Vegas. But they're still in the state of California. But I think where the stadium is they're playing is like in Sacramento or something. So it could be the Sacramento Athletics, or just pretty much it's just going to be Athletics. But not really a whole lot to say about them, but they have some pretty good names on the roster like Brent Rooker, and I think they also signed that pitcher. I think it's Luis Severino. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. Yes, because he will be the ace, and they also got Mason Miller for closer. And I still think they put together a good season. And they also got Gio Urshela. I remember him. Yeah, but I still think that they still will do pretty well. I say about 73 wins they get. I mean, I don't think they finish last place. And yeah, I know everybody's going to hate this, and they're going to probably turn this video off, and I don't care. I'm going with the Houston Astros for last place. Once again, I can't stand the Astros. I know the 2017 World Series keeps coming up, and everybody keeps saying, oh, you got to, stop, thinking about that. Well, that's not the reason. The reason is I can't stand the Astros. I don't like them. They're overrated. Jose Altuve is pretty much going to move to left field, which I think is a little bit ridiculous because Altuve, in my opinion, does not know how to play the outfield. I mean, because what I've seen in spring training, he's been struggling. And, yeah, I mean, not really a whole lot of pitchers, to talk about or the rest of them. I mean, they have Josh Hader for closer. And they got new first baseman Christian Walker. I think they released Jose Abreu, something like that. Mauricio Dubon, who will probably play second base because of Altuve moving to the outfield, and Isaac Paredes that they got from Tampa Bay, I think, and Jeremy Pena. They do have Yordan Alvarez as well, too, who will probably be the designated hitter. But, yeah, I'd say about 69 wins the Houston Astros get, or maybe 70 or 71, somewhere around there. All right, now we're done with the American League. Now we can go to the National League. We don't have a whole lot left, so let's go to our National League East. So we have these teams. For first place, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. It seems like a lot of times the Atlanta Braves do finish first place, but sometimes it could be either the Phillies or the Mets. The Atlanta Braves, they still don't have Ronald Acuna Jr., who will probably return around the month of May because of his injury. And they still got a pretty good rotation despite losing Max Fried. They still have people like the Cy Young Award winner Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez and a few others. Spencer Strider, who has been on the injured list, but he did pitch in spring training recently, and he could be back pretty soon, or unless he'll pitch in the minors again until he's fully ready. And then they got Raisel Iglesias for closer. Sean Murphy, who may be a little bit injured in the beginning, but he should be able to return. And you got Matt Olson at first base, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Jurickson Profar, a new acquisition they got from San Diego, Michael Harris, who will most likely handle center field because Ron Acuna would play center field as well too, and Jared Kelenic and Marcelo Zuna. So yeah, I say about 89 wins I think the Braves get. Second place, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies, and I unfortunately said, the teams in that order as well too. When I said Braves, Phillies, and Mets, when I was talking about teams that finished first place. Now the Phillies, again they've got once again pretty good pitching staff. They got Zach Wheeler, and I think they still got Aaron Nola and Jesus Luzardo and Christopher Sanchez, Taijuan Walker, Ranger Suarez is in the mix as well too. New Philly Jordan Romano also on the team, and Jose Alvarado, JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, Alec Bohm, and Trey Turner all in the infield. Really good names. New Philly Max Kepler. I think he's new, or unless he was there last year. I don't really remember. And Brandon Marsh, Nick Castellanos, and Kyle Schwarber. And I'd say about 89 wins, I think, should be all right for the Phillies. I think they'll be in contention with the Braves as well too. I mean, I still think Braves could get about 90 or 91 wins, something like that. I mean, I think 90 for them and 89 for the Phillies. I mean, I think I did say 89 wins for the Phillies. Well, I said 89 wins for the Braves and then 89 for the Phillies. I mean, they could, finish tied, but personally, I'm just going to say the Braves win one more over them, so 90 for the Braves, 89 for the Phillies. For the third place team, this is where I get a little bit confused again, where that other team is in the National League East. Okay, I got it. Third place is going to be the New York Mets. Now, despite the New York Mets, re-signing first baseman Pete Alonso, which really took him a while, because we thought that he was going to go to another team, but we have Sean Manaea, and then we got a new acquisition, Clay Holmes, the former closer for the New York Yankees, who's now going to be a starter. I'm not really too sure about that. I'm not really sure if that's going to be a good decision, but we shall see about that. And, of course, the closer, Edwin Diaz. You also got Mark Vientos and Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor. A lot of good names. Brandon Nimmo, and, of course, the new guy, Juan Soto, signing a 15-year deal, which is outrageous. Just somebody, sign a contract and all that money is just absolutely crazy. But hopefully, it is worth it, for them. Yeah. I say about 86 wins they get. Fourth place, I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals. It was either them or the other team, but the Nationals, they're really trying to come around, and get back on the winning season for the first time in a while, I think. I can't remember the last time they had a winning season. I mean, they only got people like Mackenzie Gore and Jake Irvin. Trevor Williams, is not bad and stuff, and Kyle Finnegan, their closer. They did bring back Josh Bell, who played for the Nationals before, but I don't think it will really make a difference. Luis Garcia Jr., has done pretty well, and C.J. Abrams, James Wood, Jacob Young, and Dylan Cruz. Not a lot of names on there, that could do pretty well. I say the Nationals get about 71 wins, and last place, that would be the Miami Marlins. Marlins, they could be losing their pitcher, Sandy Alcantara. He could be traded to another team. Somebody said it could be the Orioles. I don't really think that's true, honestly. I think he will get traded, but I just don't know to what team. Rest of them, too, I mean, just names I see on here that I know, like Otto Lopez. Only one because he had an MLB The Show finest card. That's the only reason. Connor Norby, former Baltimore Oriole. Hope he does really well. Like Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers, another former Oriole, and Griffin Conine, the son of former Baltimore Oriole Jeff Conine, but he also played for the Marlins and the Royals and a few others too. Yep. And that's pretty much about it. And Marlins, I think, went about, say, 68 wins. Now to the National League Central. For them, I gotta keep doing this again because I keep forgetting the teams they're in that division. So for the National League Central, I'm gonna look this over, and I'm gonna say There it is. The St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals, I've always liked them, ever since they had Albert Pujols, and my granddad always liked them as well, too. But they still have Sonny Gray in the rotation, and also got some others as well, too. Ryan Helsley for their closer. Wilson Contreras, who will be playing first base with Pedro Pajes. I guess it's not Pages. I think it's Pajes will be at catcher. Nolan Gorman and Nolan Arenado, despite losing Paul Goldschmidt, but that's why Wilson Contreras will go to first base, and Mason Wynn as well, Lars Nootbaar, and Jordan Walker. Yep, Alec Burleson. I say about, 85 wins that they get. Second place, I'm going to go, I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers for second place in the National League Central. I mean, they've got, a pretty good roster too. I mean, even though they lost, Corbin Burns, last year when he came to Baltimore, but they got Freddie Peralta. They also got Nestor Cortez. I think he balks a lot of times, but yeah. Other pitchers, too, that are in here, but some that are going to start on the injured list. Trevor McGill, who will probably be the closer. William Contreras, the brother of Wilson, the younger brother, that is. Reese Hoskins also in there. Bryce Terang, who's a pretty good runner as well. Joey Ortiz, who was actually a former Oriole. Jackson Churio, Garrett Mitchell, and there he is. Christian Yelich will be the designated hitter. I thought he was going to be like right field or something. I didn't even see his name. I'm like, where the heck is Christian Yelich? Or left field. He may start. But I say they get about 82 wins. For third place in the National League Central, I'm going to say the Cincinnati Reds. This one, seems like, again, a little bit of a question mark maybe. But I like the Reds. I like to see them, come around, and try and do something good, start winning some games a little bit. I mean, Hunter Green and Brady Singer, Nick Martinez as well, Nick Lodolo, like a pretty good rotation, and probably Carson Spears or Andrew Abbott maybe, or Red Lauter, maybe. Alexis Diaz will be the closer. Then we got Tyler Stevenson, Gavin Lux, the MLB The Show cover athlete, along with Gunnar Henderson and Paul Skeens, and that's Ellie De La Cruz. Yep. Austin Hayes, a former Oriole. Hopefully, Austin does really well. I mean, I hope that he does with Cincinnati. And TJ Friedel as well, and Jake Fraley, and Jamer Candelario. I say about 76 that they get, 76 wins. I forgot how many I said for, I think I said 82 for Milwaukee. But anyway, fourth place, is that what we're up to? Yeah, we're up to fourth place now. So there's a couple more. What's the other one? What was the other team? There's another team. Okay, there it is. I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs for fourth place. I couldn't find the fourth place team. There it is. I mean, the Cubs, they've got, players as well, too. I mean, the Cubs could finish third place as well, too, because I think they'll be in contention with Cincinnati. But Cincinnati, people could probably choose them, to finish last place. But, yeah, they got Justin Steele and Jamison Talion, along with Shota and Monaga, whatever it is, Matthew Boyd, and Ben Brown maybe, or Colin Ray. Ryan Presley will be the closer. Then Michael Bush, Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and Seiya Suzuki. Good amount of names right there. The third base, Matt Shaw. I think I've heard of that name, but wasn't too sure. But I say the Cubs get about 73 wins. And last place, that would have to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, I know they have the pitching sensational there, and that is Paul Skeens. But could Paul Skeens, possibly get traded, to another team? I don't want to see him as a Yankee, because the Yankees always do that. They always go out and get the players, like the biggest superstars, and try and get them on the roster. But Paul Skeens had to do what he can, but the roster, they need some players and more pitchers as well, too, trying, have, a little bit of a better season. But you never know. They might do really well. So, Paul Skeens obviously would be the ace, along with Mitch Keller and a few others as well, like Bailey Falter, Andrew Haney, maybe, and Carmen Middlezinski, something like that, and the others. Yeah, Jared Jones, the only one I know, and Johan Oviedo, I'm not really too sure, but he'll be on the injured list. David Bednar, who will be the closer. Joey Bart at catcher. Kip Ryan Hayes, Isaiah Canafalefia, Tommy Pham, and Brian Reynolds as well. Also in there, O'Neal Cruz and Andrew McCutcheon, who will be the DH. This could be his final season in the majors. I mean, I don't think Andrew McCutcheon really is a Hall of Famer, though. He has 319 career homers and a 273 career average, but the hits, career hits are 2,152. I personally don't think that's going to be enough. I say the Pirates get about 71 wins, somewhere around there. All right, now for the last one, and that is the National League West. So first place, no question, I'm going to have to go with the Los Angeles Dodgers, the World Series winners from last year. Of course, all these people that they signed, which is crazy, like the Japanese pitcher Roki Sasaki joining Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani. But some are saying, Shohei Ohtani will probably be in the rotation, but personally, I don't think he will. I mean, they have enough pitchers as it is, like Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow and Dustin May. A lot of people starting the season on the injured list, though, like Tony Gonsolin, Clayton Kershaw, who they signed to just a one-year deal. Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone, and River Ryan. I mean, a lot of people on there, unfortunately, and I don't even see Bobby Miller. I guess they put Bobby Miller into the minors, I guess. Yes, they did. I thought for sure he was going to make the rotation or the roster, but no. Okay. Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan, Kirby Yates, all three of them will probably be in contention for the closer role, but I like to see it go to Tanner Scott because I really think he personally could do really well. And of course, Will Smith at catcher, Freddie Freeman, the World Series MVP, Tommy Edman over at second, Max Muncy, Mookie Betts, who will probably be the shortstop according to here, but he can play the outfield, and I think he can even play second base too. Yeah, he can pretty much play them all. Well, it doesn't really have him listed at second base, but okay. And the outfield, Michael Conforto and Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages, Enrique Hernandez also in there too. And, of course, Shohei Ohtani at DH. Yep. And there you pretty much go. I say they win about, I say they win 100. 100. I'm pretty sure, that, okay, now for second place in the American League West, National League West, sorry. Thinking this over a little bit. My goodness. I'm actually going to have to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I mean, they signed Corbin Burns, and that's pretty much going to make an impact, I think, for them. I mean, according to this, and, it looks like he's going to be the number 2 starter behind Zach Gallen, which I think is a little bit crazy right there. I think Burns would be the ace because he did really well at Baltimore. He was 15-9, I think he was, and he had a really good ERA. He did really well with us. 15-9 with a 2.92 ERA in 32 games. And he struck out a good amount as well, too. 181, even though he struck out 203 straight seasons in 2021, 2022, and 2023. But I still think, he'll do really well with them. I really hope he does. I hope he wins, a good amount of games. I mean, we miss him in Baltimore, but I really think, he'll do really well. And the other people, Gabriel Moreno, Josh Naylor, Ketel Marte, Eugenio Suarez, Geraldo Perdomo, Lourdes Gurriel, and Jake McCarthy, and Corbin Carroll, and Pavin Smith. I mean, I think Arizona wins about, I'd say 93. 93 sounds right. For third place, I'm going to go with, the San Francisco Giants. The Giants, they have people that are like pretty good as well too. I mean, I think personally, I don't think they're gonna win as many games as Arizona. I mean, they got Logan Webb and Robbie Ray, and also Justin Verlander. Go figure. Yeah, and Ryan Walker, who'll be the closer. Patrick Bailey at catcher. Tyler Fitzgerald and Matt Chapman, the new shortstop Willie Adames. Jung-Ho Lee and Mike Yastrzemski. I mean, yeah, I'd say they win about 86 games. For fourth place, I'm going to go with that's wrong team, actually, the San Diego Padres. I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of the Padres that much. I mean, for a few reasons. Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., I really can't stand those two. I mean, I liked it when Manny Machado was with us, and he did pretty well, but he's been trying to do well with San Diego. But Michael King, who will be the A's, along with Dylan Cease, who could be on the verge of getting traded from what I heard, and the rest of them too. But Yu Darvish, I mean, he doesn't really look like he may be in the rotation, or he may be on the injured list. I don't know. I don't think he is. Robert Suarez for closer. Elias Diaz at catcher until Ethan Salas will be ready at catcher. Luis Arraez, Jake Cronenworth, Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jason Hayward, one of the new acquisitions, Jackson Merrill and Tatis over in right field, and Gavin Sheets, who is the son actually of Larry Sheets, the guy that I met recently, and my mom met as well too, and my aunt did as well too. She took the picture. But Padres, I think, win about probably 80 games. And last place, that would be the Colorado Rockies. Unfortunately, the Rockies haven't really put together a good season in a while. And not really a whole lot to go over because we're at the end of this. Yeah, Kyle Freeland will have to do the best he can with other people in rotation too with him. And Jacob Stallings at catcher. I mean, that's the only names I'm seeing, that I'm familiar with. Ryan McMahon, Ezekiel Tovar. They could be on the verge of getting traded, Then again, they may not. And Brenton Doyle, Chris Bryant hasn't really put together a good season. Sam Hilliard probably got some playing time as well too. And Jordan Beck. I mean, yeah, some of these names I don't really know a whole lot, but I'm familiar with them. Don't really know a whole lot, but again, yeah, I'd say the Rockies win about 64 games. I think that's pretty much fair. But yeah, okay, so that's it. I mean, this definitely took us a while, to do that, but I had to go through all the teams. I'm sorry, but I wanted to do this, just to get it out of the way. So this is gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoyed this video of my MLB season predictions for 2025. Now, again, not really doing, MVP or Cy Young and all that stuff. Usually I like to do that like a little later and all that stuff. But I could, do like predictions as well too, but I'm not really going to do all that. I've done enough one here, so sorry. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up again. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Like, comment, and subscribe. Not a bad thing, a good thing. And you all take care, and thank you again for watching.